Hi, good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Today is Monday, September 11th, 2023. The time now is 6:01, and I will call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023 by resolution number 21-R-2023, remote participation will be allowed. The meeting link has been provided on the town's website and designated posting place 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings and public hearings. Copies of the guidelines are available online and at the entry table when you come in through the front door. There are 2 public comment opportunities on the agenda for you to address the board on any subject, whether it is on the agenda or not. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Adams.
Here.
Trustee Broadhead.
Here.
Trustee Harris. Trustee Parr.
Here.
Trustee Schranz.
Here.
Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, September 11th, 2023, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much. And please join me in a moment of silence as we remember and reflect on the events of September 11th, 2001. Very much for your time tonight, and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. We'll move on to a review and approve agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda tonight? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda. Second.
It's a concert. All right, any discussion? All right, roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Adams.
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Schranz.
Yes.
Trustee Parr.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Thank you, sorry. I'm trying to figure out, Amy's looking up here, so sorry about that. Motion carries, we have an agenda for this evening. We'll move on to our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. You have my report. I just want to start my report by giving a shout out to the weather. Just a great weekend. The parade was fantastic. Couldn't have asked for better weather. And then community day was fantastic. And a real shout out to Lorelai and Erica and their staffs for all the really hard work. It was seamless. I mean, just seemed like a really, really nice event. We got a lot of compliments. The music was fantastic. The stage being up here. So big shout out to that and the community. It was really a community celebration. So that was awesome. And it didn't rain until yesterday, which was just stunning. So we were thrilled with that. A couple of things I just wanted to mention that were either in my report or my weekly update to you all. First of all, we did mention in here that on Wednesday, the 20th, we're using the date for planning commission. All members of the board of trustee are invited to that planning commission meeting. It's going to be a training session. For any of you who haven't been through it before, we're going to walk through a full entitlement process. And Jason tells me that they're going to actually use a real case of a land use file and walk it through from annexation all the way through. So it's a good idea to do this every now and again. So the commission and the board have been through all this, but if you're a refresher, you're welcome to attend. Also, our audit that was delayed for a couple of months, we will be presenting that at the next board. We did have some delays with the company that did our audit. we issue to look for any revenue from, just in case you were wondering why that was delayed. And it won't affect that we ultimately have to answer questions and the audit will come out. But it was delayed in it's going to be in July. Finally, for a consultant, if you remember the budget this year, when you passed the budget, you passed for the planning department to seek help. This is a large revision to the Regis code. We have quite a number of things that have to be looked at and adjusted. As you know, these documents are documents and have to be updated from time to time. So we kind of decided to do a big bite. So that's what that RFP is for. And other than that, I'm here to answer any questions.
Thanks, Helen. Questions or comments for Helen? All right, thanks for your time. Okay, we'll move on to our informational items for this evening. The first one will be a community engagement update by our Public Information Officer, Community Engagement Director, Laura Wilson. Yeah, you have the floor.
Thank you. Waiting on my presentation. So again, just to piggyback off of what Helen said, Community Day and the parade went fantastic. Overall, I think this is probably the best one yet in terms of attendance and the amount of people that came in and stayed and came in. Our parade, we had 25 participants, which is record breaking. Last year we had 18, so that went really well. A shout out to the school district for all of their support and the police department who helped with traffic control that day, because there's a lot of people lining up. The community day event, we had 44 vendors, over 1,500 attendees approximately. I based that off of food sales, and everybody was very, very happy with their sales on Saturday. Unfortunately, we did have a couple of last minute dropouts in regards to vendors, some sickness going on. So there were some gaps in that, but overall, Public Works outstanding. They were there from set up to tear down, helping out with electrical or whatever the community and the department needed, they were there. The town had a booth. It was very active. Erica was there presenting information and answering questions on the community center, Third and Walker intersection, the pedestrian crossing. We had big poster boards out there with pictures of what these projects are going to entail. So a lot of feedback, a lot of questions. And then one of the biggest changes this year was our fireworks. We changed contractors. And the reason for that is we wanted a little bit more bang for the buck. We were with this new contractor and they actually used larger shells to shoot them higher. So we were avoiding this tree line over here that we seem to get caught behind for our fireworks. So a lot of positive feedback on that. The finale was great. And if you stuck around about 30 minutes after, there are some stragglers going off. Here's some photos of the day. Hazel Miller, I can't say enough about that band. She got here early and introduced herself to the staff and all the members and really put herself out there. She had her own fan base here, Brian might have his own fan base here. So it was really fun to see the people coming and going for the different aspects of the event. Upcoming, we have fall cleanup days, and that'll be October 13th and 14th. And as usual, at the Dry Lake at Mead Ponds, October 13th, that is from 8 a.m. until 4 p.m. And then October 14th, which is a Saturday, is from 8 to noon. We'll also be joining the Chamber of Commerce for the Trick or Treat Street, which is October 28th. That'll be on Main Street, and that is from 1 to 3. we are prepping for our next large event, Christmas in the Park on December 2nd. Sports have started. We're full into fall sports. For volleyball, we had 87 participants and that made 12 teams. For fall soccer, we had 115 kiddos and 14 teams. Volleyball is done in conjunction with Carbon Valley, and our fall soccer is completely in-house over at Liberty Ranch. We do have winter basketball open for registration now, so it's continuously moving through sports. For basketball, we are partnering with Carbon Valley, and we'll be hosting games here in Mead and in their gymnasiums. And we're really excited. Last year, we attempted to do Girls on the Run, and we didn't get enough kiddos registered. This year, Caitlin reached out to the school district. They promoted so much in their schools on their Facebook page, and we made it. So we're going to run the program. It starts this week, and so they can participate in the 5K, which will be in Fort Collins. In the manager's report, it said Denver, but there's a miscommunication on that. So it'll be in Fort Collins, a little bit closer to home. So we're excited for that. Older active adults are still going strong with their lunch, brunch, and bingo. We do that at the Mark. And then later this month, Caitlin and I are going to go over to the Friendly Forks meal. We're going to present information similar to what was at community about the community center, and programming ideas, things like that. So unfortunately, Unity in the community in Longmont was canceled, postponed, I should say. But that should be held October 5th, if the weather's fair. So we'll be out there with that, promoting our Built for Mead economic development campaign. One of the latest updates to that website is we have a business directory added on there, and then we are continuing to do business interviews for that. So our meet greet meets, we had 3 this year, and the turnout was not what we were hoping. Probably a little bit lower than last year, with the exception of Liberty Ranch, which had a fairly good turnout. So that's something I'd like to get the board's input on, and how you guys see this progressing. Want to continue? We can strategize on how we can get more people out. And then the community center coming soon sign, there was the sign material was damaged during shipping, so that's taken a little bit longer. But Public Works picked that up today, so that should be going out fairly soon. And that's all I have for you. Do you have any questions?
Questions, concerns? Thanks, Lorelai. There's nothing going on. There's a lot going on. All right, thanks, Lorelai. All right, next will be our 5J cash and lead discussion, and I will turn the microphone over to our community development director, Jason Bradford.
A real quick brief update for you, so we have a little context. I've created a map here that shows some of the school districts that surround the town of Mead, and you can see that I've circled generally where the town of Mead's boundaries are, and you can see all of the district boundaries that surround us. And I think everybody's familiar with our E1J, and that's the St. Vrain Valley School District. That's shown in yellow on the map. But there's also another school district that just a small portion of Mead's boundaries go into, school district R2J, and that's the Thompson School District. And then the subject of tonight's discussion is this one, RE5J. That's the Johnstown Milliken School District, and you can see just a small portion of the town's current boundaries exist within that school district boundary. And I'm going to zoom in here. And you can see it a little bit better on this map, where the area in blue is where that school district boundary is. And so the school district reached out. They wanted to talk about those portions of Mead that exist within that school district boundary. You can see that a portion of that Torium property sort of is in that boundary, and then there's larger portions of our future growth boundary that will potentially expand even further into that school district. And so tonight, the subject of the meeting is to talk about the establishment of land dedication requirements, as well as a fee in lieu of school land dedication. And also the school district would like to describe to the board the methodology that was used to establish that fee in lieu of land dedication. Just a refresher, a fee in lieu of land dedication is something that is established when the siting of a school is not appropriate for a specific property. Maybe the property is too small to create enough land for a school district, or the school district hasn't identified that particular area as a location for a school district. But as you know, in the town's codes, all residential properties and developments are required to dedicate a certain amount of land for school siting, the siting of school sites. And very often they will pay a fee in lieu of that land dedication. And so that's what the school district is here to talk to you about. And also I wanted to remind the Board of Trustees that the town of Mead does have an existing intergovernmental agency agreement with the St. Vrain Valley School District that describes some of the very similar topics that the RE5J school district would like to discuss with you tonight. So I'm happy to answer any questions if you have any. Otherwise, I'll turn it over to representatives from the school district. At the dotted line, what?
That dotted line there. I assume that's kind of.
Yes.
It's actually not. The dotted line you're seeing there is between County Roads 38 and County Road 40. So the dotted line that the arrow kind of points to there is between County Roads 38 and County Road 40. We're talking about half of the Turian development is what we're mostly interested in.
Well, that's also the
Foot boundary.
If I may, trustee Schmitz, the area in question, the turnaround piece that's in Mead is bounded by County Road 38 and 40. This school district basically bisects that. So if there were a 39, that one would be at 39. It looks odd, but that's the way that's how they parceled off the school district back in 1962. So what we have is all of Turion that's in Berthoud is in their school district. And then half of the 600 acres that are in Mead, which is the Mead Turion, is in St. Vrain School District, and the other half is in their school district. That's why they're here tonight. We didn't even honestly know that anything in Mead was in that school district until they contacted us.
Okay. All right, thanks. I have a better idea where it's at. That's what I'll have more questions later, I'm sure.
Please, yeah. So let's introduce myself real quick. My name is Nate Sassano. I'm the Vice President of the Water Authority Board. We're happy to be here tonight. Thank you for your time. We do serve mostly Johnstown and Milliken. That's the two kind of main communities in our district, but we do have a very small piece in Mead that we're talking about today. I do want to introduce you all to Michael Everest. He is our Chief Financial Officer for our district, and he'll walk you through kind of the numbers of what we're asking for. Oops. Yep.
Good evening, everyone. We can go to the next slide on our presentation. Oops. The Weld 5J School District last updated its school district planning standards and methodology in 2018. Almost a year ago, September 21st, 2020, our Board of Education had a presentation by Shannon Bingham from Western Demographics on updating our methodologies. Our planning standards were updated on November 4th, 2022. And they basically changed our middle high school enrollment from 975 students to 1,350. And that reflects the capacity of the new Roosevelt High School that just opened the prior month. If we go to the next slide. Proposed cash from new rate comparison. So we updated our capital rates based off of costs associated with developed land with basic infrastructure. The 2018 rates were basically based off of raw land that didn't have, think just an agricultural field, no utilities, no types of infrastructure associated with it. Our newly updated rate reflects things such as street frontage, water, sewer, storm sewer, electric, gas, and telephone broadband. And then at the bottom, we have a kind of a comparison between the 2018 rate and our 2022 rate. As you can see, it did take, a significant jump, both based off of the increased costs associated with building a new school, and then also factoring in the costs of providing basic infrastructure to the land, which is, our consultant, Mr. Bingham, feels that that's a more realistic, cost for the school district for the land in order to build new schools on, what we would need to do to have that. If you go to the next slide. And then comparisons with neighboring school districts, and these are all up north. From Mead, but kind of as you can see, and this is a single family detached rate in this table, and we're kind of right in the middle of the pack in many of the Weld County districts that are represented in this table. So you can see that, and then if we go to the next slide. Was there not a next slide? Sorry, there isn't. That was the last slide. I'm sorry. So this concludes my presentation, and I can answer any questions trustees may have.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone for coming.
Mayor, I ask if I could, just for your information, the St. Louis School District, which wasn't shown on the chart, the last time I looked at it, it was about $930 a house. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah.
Yes, so this is significantly higher. However, the methodology is different from what I can ascertain. I believe St. Louis simply uses a read cost. It also has a significantly higher number of students. So there's a basic economy of scale, I would argue, that the St. Louis School District has. They haven't revisited numbers with us, and so I'm not sure where they are. We always meet with them, but I just bring that up for comparison. I mean, it's fairly steep for the that they're asking. However, Yeah, I presume that this same Monday is applied to every school, every house that's built in your school district.
That's correct.
Okay, I just wanted to just let you know that.
If I may, just you talk about the economy of scale, we serve about 4,000 students. St. Vrain serves about 33,000 students. So economy of scale is very different there. We have approved this exact number with the town of Johnstown. So that is what any new home in the Johnstown area is paying. We're working on the same with town of Milliken, town of Berthoud, and the town of Greeley. Because all of them have a similar little section on the very edge of our district. So just so you're all aware kind of what we're working on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for coming tonight. We appreciate the presentation too. All right, we'll move on to our proclamations for tonight. The first one is National Prepared Month, September 23. We'll ask Trustee Schrantz to please read the proclamation. Say that twice.
Whereas this month occurring in September, since the events of 9/11/2001, creates an ideal opportunity for every resident of Mead, Colorado, to join citizens across the United States in preparing their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural disasters, potential terrorist attack, and whereas the Federal Agency Management Agency announced in 2023 National Preparedness Month theme of Take Control in 1, 2, 3. And whereas planning now before a disaster is the best way to improve community recovery from disasters. And whereas when individuals take responsibility for preparing their families and their communities, the chance of survival and return to normalcy following a disaster is greatly increased. And whereas the town of Mead, Colorado partners with federal, state, local, private, and volunteer agencies to educate individuals on local hazards and how to prepare for them. Now, therefore, Colleen Whitlow, Mayor of Town of Mead, Weld County, Colorado, does hereby proclaim and call up on all citizens of the town of Mead to observe the month of September 2023 as National Preparedness Month, and call on all government agencies, private organizations, and people and businesses of Mead, Colorado, to develop their own emergency preparedness plan, work together for creating a stronger and more resilient community. Given under the seal of Town of Mead, this 11th day of September 2023.
Thank you, sir, very much for reading the proclamation. Is there a motion to approve the signing of the proclamation?
I move that we sign the proclamation.
Second. Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Schrantz,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carries. Next of our proclamations is Constitution Week, September 17th through 2023. I've asked Trustee Broadhead to read the proclamation.
Proclamation Constitution Week, whereas September 17th, 2023 marks the 236th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to the magnificent document and its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion. Whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America, designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week. Now, therefore, Colleen Whitlow, by virtue of the authority vested in her as mayor of the town of Mead, do hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through 23rd as Constitution Week, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of the Constitution had in 1787 by vigilantly protecting the freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties, remembering that lost rights may never be regained, given under her hand and seal
of the town of Mead, Colorado, this 11th day of September 2023. Thank you, Deb. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
I make a motion to approve. I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Shranz,
Yes.
trustee Bradhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. Motion carries. Thanks for reading the proclamations, both of you tonight. Next, we'll move on to our first public comment period of in the agenda. The board welcomes public comment for any item, whether it is on the agenda or not. The board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. If you desire conversation, please email the board or the town manager or attend the monthly copy with the mayor. If you wish to speak during this public comment period, please adhere to the town's general guidelines. Please start by stating your full name and address for the record. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to address the Board of Trustees. If you're representing a group, you'll have 5 minutes. Is there anyone here in the room that would like to speak to the board tonight? Okay. Is there anyone with us virtually who would like to speak to the board?
There's no one virtually,
Okay.
Mayor.
Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on to our consent agenda. The consent agenda contains items which are considered routine and approved with one motion and vote. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda as is.
I will second.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Bradhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Shranz,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thank you, staff, for putting this together for the board. We appreciate it. And we'll move on to our Mead Liquor Licensing Authority. We next will need a motion to recess the Board of Trustees meeting and convene as the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority. And I would like to entertain somebody to make that motion to go into that.
I make the motion that we go into session for liquor license authority.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please, Mary.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Bradhead,
Yes.
trustee Shranz,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Okay, we're now in the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority. I call to order a public hearing of the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority on Monday, September 11th, 2023 at 6:33 p.m. The authority shall consider the application of Quick Trip Corporation. Town Clerk Mary Strutt, please introduce the case and enter the evidence, the necessary documents.
Thank you, Mayor and trustees. In your board packet for tonight are the application which was submitted to the town clerk's office together with all supporting documents. The application was made by Quick Trip Corporation. The application is for a fermented malt beverage or beer and wine license for 3571 Highland Drive in Mead. The application information starts in your packet on page 73, and the required diagram is on page 106. The diagram does show the storage areas, coolers, and sales area. The intent would be for the applicant to sell fermented malt liquor or beer and wine in sealed containers for off-site consumption. The building is currently under construction with an opening date later this year.
Thank you. The application submitted to the town clerk together with the supporting documents are hereby made part of the record. Any other documents presented to the authority during this hearing shall also be made of the record if a copy is given to the town clerk. Ms. Strutt, was notice properly posted and published for this matter?
Yes, the property was posted by the applicant from August 25th through September 5th. And the notice was published in the Times Call newspaper on August 31st.
Thank you. This authority is to consider the needs and desires of the neighborhood. What evidence has been presented?
Included in your packet is a petition of residents and business members within the town of Mead in support of the application as submitted by Liquor Pros. Liquor Pros is a petitioning organization that worked on behalf of the applicant. Their representative is here. Okay, Liquor Pro is not online, just so you know. They were going to be, but I don't see them online. In addition, the notice was properly posted and published, and no comments have been received for or against the matter in the town clerk's office. This would be the fifth FMV license within the town of Mead. There are 3 others in the area of I-25 and Highway 66. The applicant is present here tonight and does have some information to present to the board.
Thank you. The applicant may make a presentation to the authority concerning the requested liquor license application. After the applicant presents testimony, other interested persons will be provided an opportunity to address the authority. Mr. Talcott, you do have the floor if you would like.
Mayor, trustees, thanks for having us tonight.
And when you speak, sorry, if you could start with your name
Yes, Mike Talcott,
and probably
Quick
quick trip.
Quick Trip Corporation Real Estate Project Manager. Good to be here again tonight. Last time it did not look like this. Bravo, good job. I'm actually going to let them take this and they'll introduce themselves, I think, starting off with Corey, but I'll be here if anything comes up.
Good evening, trustees, mayor. Thank you for having us here tonight. I'm Corey Tipton. I am Colorado Liquor Counsel for Quick Trip Corporation, law registration number 35865. And I'm going to allow the representatives from Quick Trip to give some information, but may ask them a few follow-up questions just to make sure we get you all the information you need. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to the first representative from Quick Trip, who's going to give you a little bit of background on the company and how it is operated and the ownership of it. Good afternoon. Thank you, mayor and trustees for having us here tonight. My name is Brittany Sikorsky. I'm the project manager for Quick Trip. Quick Trip was established in 1958. We are a family-owned organization. We are not a franchise. We have over 1,000 stores across the U.S. and county. I have worked for Quick Trip for 10 years. I started as a part-time employee and moved up to store manager, and recently was actually promoted to this position in real estate. So that's just one example of how you can grow with a company and it's a career. Store manager work Monday through Friday, 5 to 3, and make over $100,000 a year. 401k, ESOP, profit sharing, paid vacation and sick time. This location will staff 25 to 30 employees and will hire in the surrounding community. So hopefully we get some applicants to apply. If anyone has any questions, I'll be willing to answer. Our projected open date is the 2nd week of December. I'm passing on to Adam.
Good evening, guys. My name is Adam Ginger. I'm the personnel manager with Quick Trip. I've been around about 18 years and I'm going to talk a little bit about responsible retailing and how that is important to Quick Trip. So when an employee starts at Quick Trip, we have an orientation class, and it's at our office where we bring all new hires. And at the time, we kind of orient them to Quick Trip, but we also cover in depth our responsible retailing policy. We read the policy with them. We also play with them on examples of circumstances they're going to encounter. From there, they get training with a assigned trainer. The part-time employee gets 36 hours of training, and the full-time employees, the assistant managers, they will get 96 to 132 hours. During this training, that trainer is assigned personally to them. And during the course of the training, they will oversee all transactions handled at the point of sale and just making sure compliance is followed to a T. There's 2 ways to get fired from Quick Trip. One is customer service and the other one is responsible retailing. So when a age-restricted product is scanned at the point of sale, there is an alert that prompts the employee to stop. And on there, it illustrates the date that product is, the date of birth that you have to, the age that you have to be to purchase that product. Number 2, there is a 10 key, because now you have to type in that date on a little screen that pops up. And then thirdly, there's an option to scan, because now you have the barcode, so they can scan the ID. Once the employees are out of training, there's also ongoing training on a regular with store managers, where they will review compliance from just the performance of the employee, but also in a quarterly one-on-one the employee has with that store manager. They will sit down, review the policy, review performance, And there's also a quarterly meeting with the supervisor where they'll meet with their peer group. And they'll also talk about compliance, review policy, et cetera. We hire our own internal shoppers as well to, you have to be 21 years old, but we require that you be less than 25 years old. And we want this person to be working underage because they're gonna go around and they're going to test compliance at every location. When this compliance, if a compliance shop is failed, that employee is either put on disciplinary action or their employment is terminated. Outside of that, if there is, we tell each employee that's hired that when a external compliance shop is failed, it does result in termination. External meaning just from the state and local government. So we do require that you be 50 years old of age, that you appear to be 50 years to make that sale. So if we explain this to our employees that when a customer comes up, they don't look like they're 50 or older, got to ask for that ID and follow the prompts that happen when they scan the product. If a customer appears to be under the influence of anything, we remove the product from the counter and we refuse the sale. Our hours of operation are 8 a.m. to 12 midnight, and during the non-operating hours, we will turn the lights off for our beer cooler, and there are locks that engage during those times, so nobody can get to the beer cooler. And that's just all I have for you guys.
Can I just ask you a couple of questions? When you say your hours of operation, the hours of operation for alcohol or for the store?
I'm sorry. So we are 24/7, but the selling hours for beer is and alcohol is 8 to midnight.
Perfect.
So excuse
Thank
me.
you. No.
Anybody that appears under the age of 50?
Well, yes, so we train our employees that if a customer brings up a product that's age restrictive, we do train our employees that they have to appear 50 years older.
Okay, so hypothetically, if I were to enter the store and you were working behind the counter, and I would you card me? This is a tricky question.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. That's the right answer. Okay.
No.
All right.
Had me going. Any other questions?
You just snuck one in, so sorry. See, you're over there.
It was more of a personal question on whether, you know, how over 50 do I appear? Right?
Old enough to ask.
I'm going to ask the public for if they have any questions, then we'll ask the trustees to ask questions or make a comment. So let me ask anybody here in the room. Would any of the public like to speak against or for this application? Okay. Mary, is there anyone online that would like to speak for or against?
There is not, Mayor.
Okay, strike that out. Ms. Strutt, has the application demonstrated the right to possess the premise?
Yes, in your board packet is the deed for the property. And we've also had the Community Development Department take a look at the zoning for the property. That was reviewed by Kyle Estrada Clark, and that's in your packet also.
Thank you. Do you have anything further to add, Ms. Strutt?
I do. So local background checks were not completed on the applicant as they have a master record on file with the Colorado Department of Revenue Liquor Enforcement Division. And the application is currently under concurrent review with the with state liquor. If the authority approves this application, the next steps would be that this authority would issue findings of facts from tonight's hearing. And the findings of fact would be forwarded to the state of Colorado. I did put in a proposed motion. If you do approve this application, please do so with the condition that it be approved pending inspection of the premises once the premises are complete. And I would ask Quick Trip, Mr. Talcott, contact me and Marisol when you're ready to have that inspection completed. And then we would finish up our application after that time.
Thank you, Ms. Strutt. Do any of the trustees have comments or questions for either the applicant or staff tonight? Chris.
My question is, actually was brought by the public. They wanted to know if overnight parking is allowed at the Quick Trip, be it for semis or for vehicles. And if so, would that constitute an off-premise liquor drinking area? If I'm thinking about, a trucker who comes in, purchases a 6-pack of beer, goes back to his truck and drinks it.
So I'll take the parking side of it and she'll take the beer side of it.
Thank you.
So to answer it, we wouldn't allow you to park there. We do now, if we wouldn't give you that permission, if somebody does park there in a parking spot and not a semi truck, but we wouldn't necessarily require them to move until we realize it has been there for 24 hours, kind of an abandoned deal. We would then tag that vehicle to say, hey, you've got 24 hours to remove your vehicle. But when it comes to semi truck parking, if we do have, this is a travel center, so we do have semi truck parking and it's free to the people that park there. So.
He said all the important stuff, but I just want to add, it's been a while since I was here when we started this project. We call this a truck stop, but it's not a truck stop like everyone thinks. We don't have shower facilities, we don't have a lounge, we don't have laundry. Generally, people stop, maybe they take a 2 to 3 hour nap and head out. So that's the big difference. We don't have those amenities that keep them hanging out all night long. So that's all I'm gonna add.
I might need you again. So.
Okay.
So with respect to your question about on-premise versus off-premise, this is an off-premise liquor license. So that means people come in and they buy the alcohol and take it to consume elsewhere. So if they were to stay on the property and consume that alcohol, that is something that Quick Trip has policies around, which they would not allow either, whether it's somebody that walks out the door and cracks the beer open, or they're sitting in their car overnight because, they have an 8-hour break or whatever, and they're driving. If you want more information on the policy around how they police that, I'm sure these guys can speak to that. But in terms of the liquor license, converting in some way from an off-premise to an on-premise, that's just not something that happens under the laws and regulations for Colorado.
Thank you.
You bet.
I do have something. You just made a statement. So off premises, I buy a 6-pack. I crack it open right there, sit in my car and drink it. What is it you do?
What is it I do?
You Quick Trip. Quick Trip.
Yeah.
What is it the Quick Trip does?
I'm sorry. First of all, like one of our examples, walks out the door and immediately cracks one. Manager on duty, whether that be one of the assistant managers or the manager, we witnessed that. We're going to go say something. And I think you guys might remember, I used to manage a store. So did Adam. I mean, unfortunately, every once in a while, something like that comes up.
So when you say you're going to do something, does that involve contacting the police department, have them, or is this something that your people are going to do?
First off, it would be me as the store manager. I would never put my clerks in a position, but I would step out and say, hey, you can't do that. You need to throw that away. If that did not work, which sometimes that doesn't, I would contact law enforcement.
Okay.
I mean, that would be the management decision to make. As for they're in their car, they're sitting and drinking. We have what we call upkeep walks that are done every half hour. And that's either the assistant manager or one of the clerks is checking all the outside trash, walking the perimeter, picking up trash, just maintenance and assessing what needs to be done. If I'm walking through the parking lot and I see someone in their car drinking, me as the manager, I'll go, hey, can't do that. If it's a clerk, they'll come get me and then I'll go out and say, hey, you can't do that. Once again, if it escalates, if they don't just cooperate and go about their way, then we'll call law enforcement.
Okay, thank you.
Now, trustee Adams.
Well, thank you. Quick question, when you were talking about taking, when they come up to the point of sale to purchase the alcohol, you take their date of birth, or is it just a year that you input, or when you said something about scanning, do you scan the license?
And this is, I'll be honest, that technology didn't exist when I was still in the stores, but I do know about it. So anytime that something is run up, scanned, or they used to have that speed keys for them. And if it's age restrictive, immediately the screen fills up with must be and then it's like older than the state. I don't know the exact verbiage. From there, a 10 key, you ask for their ID, you can punch in the date, that clears it and allows the sale to go forward. Or you can scan the ID, which will bring up their birth date also, and it'll do the math. It'll convert it and say he's 32 years old.
Okay.
I had,
Yes.
if you input a date that's below the threshold,
Oh, yeah.
it will tell you, you cannot make this sale.
I think it turns red.
I just didn't know if at the point of sale, you're entering that individual's date of or year of birth into the system.
The actual entire birth date.
Okay, so are you guys keeping that in a database then? Do you guys capture that information and hold on to it?
The birth date that was entered is in our logs for that purchase. Okay, I mean, you either have to do that or override it or cancel it somehow.
Okay,
So we're not profiling everybody.
okay. I'm just asking, just, we'll probably ask that question if they have to show it and you guys are scanning it. Is that being captured on a, database? Or-
As the manager would go and review
Yeah.
compliance, they
Okay.
would see that, hey, there was this purchase made and this is the data they typed in.
Okay, and then the last question I have for you is, what do you do for somebody that presents a card or ID that is fake? What is your process?
We refuse the sale.
Okay, do you take that ID then, or do you report that,
We
or?
do not confiscate the ID because we don't want to put ourselves or our employees in a position where they're escalating a situation that could be a point of conflict. So we will refuse the sale and they're instructed to get their manager on duty involved, or the store manager. And if need be, we will call the police.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments? All right, thank you, team, very much for being here. Thanks, Mike, for seeing you. Good to see you again. This public hearing is now closed at 6:52 PM and the Liquor Licensing Authority will not accept any additional testimony now. Is there a motion regarding this application before us?
I make a motion to approve the license application for fermented malt beverage, beer and wine for Quick Trip, with the additional caveat to pending inspection once the store has been completed. Is that correct? Okay.
Should be.
Second. No, I didn't see it. You got it? I move to approve the application of Quick Trip Corporation for a new fermented malt beverage, beer and wine liquor license based on the findings set forth in the staff report for the September 11th, 2023 meeting, and based on the following additional findings. The applicant is of good moral character and not prohibited as a license, and that the premises and their location are suitable based on review of the plans submitted and the petition submitted by applicant, along with testimony received at the public hearing, indicate that the existing outlets are inadequate to serve the thirst needs of the neighborhood, and that there is a need and desire for additional fermented malt beverage, beer and wine licenses as measured by the reasonable requirements of the neighborhood. I further move, can you scroll that just a little bit? Thank you. I further move that this approval is conditioned upon the following: applicant receiving a certificate of occupancy for the premises within 1 year of the date of this approval, and determination upon inspection of the town staff and the building complies with the architectural drawing, plot plan, and detailed interior sketched submitted with the application. I further move and direct the town staff to notify the State of Colorado Liquor Enforcement Division of this approval.
Second.
Thank you, everyone. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Shrams,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes, thank you very much. Motion carries. Thank you. We will now need a motion to adjourn the Mead Liquor Licensing Authority and reconvene as the Board of Trustees.
I
Will
motion
somebody-
to adjourn as liquor license and go back to Board of Trustees.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
trustee Broadhead,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Shrams,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes, thank you. Motion carries. Thank you to you all for being here tonight and for the school district for being here tonight. We do appreciate you all, your time and coming to Mead. No, thank you. All right. All right.
There we go.
The time now is 6:56 and I'll reconvene the regular meeting of Board of Trustees, and the next agenda item will be the second public comment period of the night. We have no further other general business, so this brings us now to this comment period. Is there anyone else in the room that would like to speak during this public comment? We'll see none. Is there anybody with us virtually, Mary, to join us? Okay. Next is our elected official reports. Any town trustees would like to report on anything? Thank you. I just want to say thank you very much for the community day. We had an awesome day. Every year it gets better and better. And I just want to say thank you to staff and to our community who came out to enjoy the beautiful weather and the wonderful time that we all enjoyed together. So thank you very much. I really do appreciate that. Sorry, Chief, you couldn't be there. You missed a great opportunity to meet 1,000+ people. And I just really do appreciate everything. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bradhead,
Yes.
trustee Parr,
Yes.
trustee Shranz.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Adams,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. The September 11, 2023 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned at 6:57. Thank you very much. Please go home safely, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight.